Well, good evening. Dr. Shearer just asked what happened to the rest of me, and those of you who know me, I am a little smaller than I have been for most of my life, and we'll just blame it on the state budget. You need a testimony, ask my wife. Thank you for the invitation to join with you this evening to honor my mentor and friend, Dr. Charles Shearer. Now, this is where I have to make an admission. I now sing the praises of Transylvania University as my alma mater, but I didn't want to go to Transy. Sure, it was on the list of schools, but that was done more to please my mother than for myself. Now, upon my acceptance to one of those Ivy League schools up north, I decided, as a great deal of high school students do that grow up in small towns, that I was getting out of Kentucky and I was going north. I took the tour of Transy again as a courtesy to my mother. And then two things happened that forever changed the course of my life. The first is I sat in a history class with Dr. Joseph Benford. I fell in love with history that day. The second, though, was even more poignant. It was a chance meeting with Dr. Shearer. He said, frankly, look, Ivy League is Ivy League. But I promise you here, you will be part of a family. Here, you are not going to be a number. Indeed, that is one of the things that Dr. Shearer is most proud of, that at Transy, you are not a number, that the known names, that the faculty turnover is such a non-issue, that generations of pioneers know the names of professors like Benford and Anderson, and we all still collectively gasp at the name of Don Doogie. And for all the collective years that they have been there, they know who we all are. That is truly family, truly amazing, and in what has become increasingly the business of higher education, increasingly rare. The legacy of Dr. Shearer will not be his fiscal stewardship, which has instilled confidence in alumni for decades. It will not be the beautification of the campus, which has even changed in the couple of years since I've been gone. It will not be the world-class faculty and staff he has assembled. It will not even be the students who have come and gone during his tenure. It will be the community that he has built. That students come to Transy as they are, and leave men and women dedicated to the betterment of their communities, dedicated to protecting the legacy of a Transylvania University education, dedicated to the excellence in their careers that does justice to the excellence of their experience at Transylvania. More importantly, Dr. Shearer's legacy is an investment in our education and our potential as contributing members to society. His countless hours of attending Transy sporting events, plays, and musicals, which we saw quite a bit of each other at, award ceremonies, his teaching of the University 1111 courses, on top of his countless hours of working early mornings and late evenings, allowed us to see someone who invested so much into our careers and our potential that it seemed almost criminal for us not to invest the same, for us not to go the extra mile. For me, Dr. Shearer's legacy is a personal one. I admittedly did not start my tenure at Transy making his life easy. In fact, I am sure there were evenings where he went home and regretted ever having that conversation. Now, internally, he is nodding his head, but he is too much of a gentleman to agree with me right now. I was what they call an activist student. I felt it was my responsibility to shape the Transy that I was going to be a part of. Dr. Shearer had seen the likes of me before, and he let me know it. Yet, he never held it against me. In fact, he would often engage me on the issues that I came to him with and did everything he could to teach me, ultimately, how to channel those thoughts and passions into leadership with integrity. In all of our talks, however, what I learned most, what I have carried now with me into the governor's office as the governor's executive assistant, is the balance of my personal and professional life. Almost every time we spoke, he would speak of Susan, the love of his life, and his 3 sons, Todd, Mark, and Scott. He would slip in updates of what they were doing as to give me a nod that he was human, after all. I figured out his humanity when, in my freshman year, I got engaged. He read about it in the Rambler, our school newspaper, and I got a summons to his office. Colmon, he said, marriage is a monumental step. Be serious about it. He was not being judgmental. He was simply offering what seemed to be fatherly advice. The engagement didn't last too much longer. Yet how surprised was I when, after my wife Victoria and I were married, we were at the reception and in walks Dr. Shearer. We were so shocked, and he came to us with this look of panic and concern on his face, and he said, "I'm so sorry, I'm running late. I drove back from Ohio," and he stopped himself and he said, "I'm sorry." That is Charles Shearer. He is a family man, and we as students and alumni are all part of that family. And he will drive 3 hours on a Saturday evening to simply come by and say, congratulations. When I look at my wife and my now 4-month-old son, it is that example I follow when trying to follow that balance. It is the recognition of, as I have been told by so many alumni, that Charles Shearer is the man many of us want to be when we grow up. So my friend, and I am humbled to call you my friend, it is with tremendous gratitude that I join the chorus tonight of men and women who have been blessed to know you, work with you, learn from you, and be in your presence. It is with humility that on behalf of the students and alumni of Transylvania University, I say thank you for your example. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the selfless investment in us, in our families, in our communities that you have made. I also say on behalf of us all that we only wish there was more time. You are long overdue to be on Charles Shearer time. We understand that. We just don't know how to look at Transy and not feel comforted by knowing that our pater familias is there. Thank you for all you have done. May God bless you and Mrs. Shearer as you embark on your new journey.